Today's guest is on a mission to mentor, train, equip individuals to live purposefully and lead with conviction. We are super excited to have you here for episode 789 of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show and our season 2026 opening. We're super excited to have you. Listen, our guest is hanging out in the virtual green room, is going to be coming up momentarily here on episode 789. We have Dr. Travis Wilkins with us, CEO and founder of The Bridge Household. And he's here in an author spotlight. You don't want to move. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back after this quick intro.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. I am super excited that you are joining us, that you are here with us on the World Wide Web. Got to give a shout out to all of those that are watching live from all across the world. Let me just say, listen, shout out to Facebook. We're so glad to have you. Listen, YouTube is jumping already. Family, friends, cousins, everybody hanging out over on YouTube. Are you following me on YouTube? Are you subscribed to me on YouTube? What you doing? YouTube.com/Sharvette. Make sure you subscribe. Hello to those on LinkedIn, certainly, and those that are checking us out on Instagram. We are super excited to have you here on our opening show. And this is an author spotlight. You all know, if you have been following the show any portion of time, we love to highlight and feature authors. I am excited because we are literally in the final stages of our ninth book collaboration that you'll be hearing a little bit more about in February in the final editing. So yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we certainly know what it takes and what goes into putting together anything that's published. And what's really cool is that today's author spotlight is really around a coloring book. Yeah. Listen. I am a proponent of coloring, honey. I brought receipts. Y'all see that 2023? I bought receipts. This is a calendar that I colored myself, honey. So we're going to get into it. I'm getting ahead of myself. So go ahead, tag someone because our guest is here, Dr. Travis Wilkins, friend of the show, often in the audience commenting and watching, and we're going to be chatting it up with him. This segment is being brought to you by and sponsored by an upcoming webinar that I have that is for therapists, mental health professionals, women in the mental health field. We have a amazing opportunity for you, complimentary webinar that's coming up, marketing that supports your practice, a visibility framework for women therapists and women mental health professionals. In this live training, I'm going to be discussing practical visibility frameworks that'll support the growth of your practice or the growth of your personal brand or the growth of services perhaps outside of therapy. And this is not about being like on all the time. And so this webinar is ideal for those that, again, are therapists or counselors or psychologists or psychiatrists or clinical social workers. And you are looking to either grow your practice or you're looking to increase your visibility because you want to do more things like speaking and training and coaching and writing yourself and expanding your impact beyond therapy sessions. So we have two spanking brand new options for you to register, again, complimentary. They are taking place on Tuesday. One is taking place on Tuesday. Y'all see I put 7. That's supposed to be, that was my error. That's January. Y'all see that? I'm going to correct that before we put it back up. January 20th, next Tuesday, and January 31st. So we have 2 options. So we'll give you more information. Y'all, I'm already in July. What is going on? All right. So we see you coming on in. Shout out to all those that are here. Listen, Roberto coming in from New York. Hey, Maryland. Hey, Roberto. We're excited to have you. Shout out to my sister Kimberly holding it down. Joe is here. Deborah is in the house. Good to see you. Listen, all the way in, all the way live. And so as you come on in, make sure that you comment and let us know that you stopped by and that you watched. And so let's go ahead and jump right on into this episode. And I want to introduce my guest so you know a little bit more about him. Coming up to the stage with us here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Again, a friend of the show has been hanging out with us in the audience. But let me tell you formally, academically, Dr. Wilkins is a two-time alumna of Virginia Union University, where he earned his Bachelor of Arts in Religious Studies and his Master of Divinity from the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology. Continuing his commitment to spiritual and intellectual growth, Dr. Wilkins earned his doctorate in biblical counseling with a focus on pastoral suicide and burnout from North Carolina Theological Seminary. He is also a board certified Christian counselor through the National Association of Christian Counselors. That's equipping him to minister to the mental, emotional, and spiritual needs of leaders and congregations alike. He is the CEO and founder of the Bridge Household, which is a purpose-driven empowerment organization designed to provide safe, stable, and nurturing support for high school students that are facing housing insecurities. And through this platform, he mentors, he trains, and he equips individuals to live purposefully and lead with conviction. And lastly, Dr. Travis Wilkins is the author of 3 books, The Pastor's Sabbath, Dear Young King, and a coloring book, y'all. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Stay sharp. So put your hands together. Coming up to the mic live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, Dr. Travis Wilkins. Hey there. Hey there.
Hey, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I am doing well. We are so excited to have you here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. And I just want to jump right on in. Thank you for being our season opening guest also.
That's it. I love it. I love it. That's it. That's right.
We're going to go big or go home. So, let's go back. What inspired the creation of the Bridge Household? How did that get started for you?
Yeah. So the Bridge Household is something that is near and dear to my heart. It originated out of my love for ensuring that young people, youth, and young adults have stabilized housing, stabilized living. They're safe. I've been in education probably in some way, shape, or form for over about 15 years. I taught middle school for 10 years. I was a program director at a group home before. I've been an adjunct professor on the collegiate level, a hall director of 200 plus males. And so one of the things that is a really, really true situation for high school students and even middle school students or K through 12 and post-secondary education is sometimes one of the main reasons why we do not see students matriculating and persisting is because they don't have somewhere to lay their head at night, or they're hungry, or that they have to be able to go from couch to couch, from bed to bed. And it is a very, very critical thing that they do not have adequate enough living. And so that's one of the factors that contributed to it. And then another factor that contributed to it is just my love for ensuring that young people feel supported in every aspect. So those are some of the factors that why the Bridge Household was established and developed and newly here. So we are here and excited to do the work.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so you're providing housing. Are there other types of support that the Bridge Household provides to the high school students?
Absolutely. Because of right now, we are in the infancy stages of the building and establishing. And because because it's kind of phased out. Bridge Household is in 2 phases. Phase 1 is the non-residential resources that we provide, which is what we do right now. So the goal is to partner with organizations, schools, child welfare system, and be able to provide services such as life skill development, tutoring and mentoring, academic college success and college access, programmatic approaches. And so that is what our approach is right now as we work toward the independent living facility, which is coming in the near future. But whether it is walking a individual through learning how to prepare to live on their own, because maybe they're getting ready to age out of the foster care system, but they still need to learn how to wash clothes. They still need to know how to budget. They still need to learn how to have time management. And so, or fill out a college application, or just have somebody walk alongside them. So those are some of the amazing things that the Bridge Household was developed for.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. A shout out to Erica Brooks. I see you coming on in. I know she was saying that's great. She's in the therapy space. I know she sees the need. Shout out to my mom. You know, you got to say hello to mom.
That's mother. Oh, I love mother. Yes, I love mother.
Listen. So if someone wanted to support the Bridge, household, is that open to them? Is that available to them?
Absolutely. We are very open to that support. We are very open, whether somebody wants to become a monthly sponsor, whether somebody wants to sow into the vision one time, whether somebody has resources to connect us to establish the partnership, or if you want to partner with the Bridge Household. All of those are options, because of the fact that I do not believe in gatekeeping this vision. I know we live in a world where people will try to take your mission, your vision, and act like it's theirs, and all of those wonderful things. But I am of the persuasion that when it's a God thing, hey, you can try to duplicate it all you want. But there are so many ways in which you can partner with us. We have a couple of things coming up in Richmond, Virginia. For example, I am planning in March a Bowling for Fun and Funds event where we are raising funds for the Bridge Household. So there are multiple ways that we can that we are looking to partner with individuals. Because matter of fact, the goal is to establish in this first quarter of the year at least 7 to 10 networking partners that we can, iron sharpen iron with. Yes, so there definitely are ways to do so.
All right. What would be the best way for them to reach out to you and connect with you?
The best way, the quickest way is the email. So if you email us at info@thebridgehousehold.net, that comes to my phone. Because right now I am the president, the CEO, the admin. Shout out to my leader, Dr. Nikita Garcia Watson, who is the she is the consultant that keeps it running. So email me. Or you follow us on the Instagram page. It definitely comes directly to me, and I would love to hear from people who will just be able to let me know how they can partner with the Bridge Household to carry the vision forward.
Beautiful, beautiful. The Bridge Household on Instagram. And so welcome to our Instagram viewers as well. So I wanted to give that kind of background and let you, be able to spend some time in talking about that. And so you spent, as mentioned, several years studying pastoral burnout and emotional wellness. And so how do those insights really influence the way that you mentor and support young people and others as well?
One of the greatest ways is just naming the fact that I think there is this misnomer that just because we are in religious spaces or in spiritual places and authorities that leaders don't go through anything. But I think also my focus around what I wrote my dissertation on and did my study on, because I wrote my dissertation during the pandemic. I wrote my dissertation and did my doctoral study while being a full-time caretaker for my mother who passed in 2024. Yeah. I did it while watching my own leaders before there was a pandemic that even was talked about reach a point where they were like, hey, we need to take a sacred pause because we're getting exhausted. And as a secondary leader in ministry, I see the realities of things that senior leaders go through. That's why I don't understand why people run to those pulpits. But that's another topic.
Another
topic, another day. But I think that the motivation behind it is wanting to be of assistance to learning how to teach leaders that there are secondary leaders who don't necessarily need to be the senior leader, but secondary leader who can hold your arms up so that you don't get exhausted. But another extension of that dissertation, one of my desired goals is to curate space for leaders, senior leaders, religious leaders, spiritual leaders, where they can come and retreat. So that is the goal of my dissertation, is to turn it into a workbook and then open a wellness center for leaders where you can just come be yourself. Come let your head down. Don't come be the prophet. Don't come be the bishop. Don't come be the chief. Nothing. I just want you to be a person. And so the way in which I mentor leaders and young people is by helping individuals understand you have to take necessary time for yourself so that you do not burn out, because you cannot be everything to everybody. We know it. When you fly, they tell you, hey, put your own mask on before you worry about somebody else, because you can't help somebody else from fainting and you over there and don't have anything. So that is the reason behind the work.
Oh, right. And that's good for business owners as well. Certainly, I want to honor my Metropolitan Archbishop, Olive C. Brown, who is in the audience.
I love her. I love her.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And so to that point, and thank you, Roberto, from New York. You have to take time for yourself. And he's in education as well. You have to take time for yourself. And so I think this is a great segue into the coloring book. So this is a specific shout out here again, episode 789, Stay Sharp. And studies and statistics and experts talk about how coloring is a de-stressor. And yes, y'all that just came in, this is from 2023. I am a proponent of adult coloring. Now, this is not his coloring book, but I'm just making a point here. I am a proponent of it. And so talk about how Stay Sharp came about. How did this come about? I got to show the audience.
Yes. So Stay Sharp. So I was sitting on the train on my way back during Thanksgiving break from Richmond back to Philly. And I said out loud, I want to publish a coloring book before the year is over. I said it. And then I began to think even the more. And I said, I want to develop a coloring book, particularly for African-American males, minorities, or whatever, who deal with ADHD. Because of the simple fact that it looks different with every person. Neurodiversity is different. And I want people to understand that things like ADHD or ADD is not a disability, but it's a superpower. The reason that I know it's a superpower is because I had a 504 plan from 4th grade all the way to 12th grade.
Wow.
I wasn't the one that could always focus and pay attention. Grades weren't always the greatest, but here I am now with 3 earned degrees and 3 books and a company, and not because of any great doings on my own all the time, but because of the fact that, hey, I learned differently. And so the purpose of the coloring book is to highlight, and for anybody who ever gets the book, you'll see that every page is different. There are some prompts in the book. There are some there's the one that highlights the brain. If you look at the one with the little frizzle on his head, that is for the one who has a busy brain, where you have all of these bright ideas in your head and you're just trying to get them all out. Then you're talking about the one with the crown on his head. That is the one that's the cool guy, the one that likes music. But guess what? The way his creativity shows up is through music. And then there's the writing prompt, where it asks you certain questions. So it's for anybody. Like if a little kid has my coloring book, I don't expect them to answer the prompts, but if they want to just color, guess what? Do that. So that's what it was for. Because I'm like, hey, I need people to flip disabilities into superpowers in church and in the marketplace.
Yeah, everywhere. Superpower. Q cover. Okay, we said where the question is coming. Where can we get it? Where can we get it? And I know we might be ahead of the official national distribution.
Right.
But we wanted to get people ready for you.
Listen, so absolutely. So the book itself is on Amazon. Now, if I'm very transparent with myself, you can go to Amazon right now and purchase the book, and you go and type Stay Sharp in. Now, I'm the type of author that's very honest now, and in order for me to see any earnings from my book, it is easier for you to get it directly from me. And if you inbox me, email me, and say, hey, I want to purchase a coloring book, and you pay for it and then provide the mailing address, then it's shipped right out to you. And so those are the main ways that you can get it. Or, hey, you can get me in advance and we can plan a coloring event at your school. We can plan a coloring event at your church. I will order the books in advance, and it will be a preset type of thing where it's like, hey, I'm coming with my books, and everybody who ordered a book in advance, that comes with your ticket. So there are different ways in which you're doing it. So however you need to get it, whether you want to go to Amazon directly or if you want to inbox me directly, books are available either way.
Awesome. And you can see the cover here, those that are watching us on the video option. But if you are listening to the podcast, just look down below in the show notes and there'll be a link for Dr. Travis, a full blog post on our website, and you can get the information from there. I love it. Great reception. Absolutely. Great tool for social emotional learning.
Absolutely.
Great tool for that. Great
Absolutely.
tool for that. And so, the Stay Sharp is really, connected to your work through, the bridging household. But are there themes and goals that you would say, even though you intended for perhaps high school, but an adult can get something out of this?
Absolutely. Because I think at the end of the day, the true ability to be able to just sit down and center yourself. And I know we live in a world where we try not to, and the saints of God, please, I promise you, I'm still saved. But I think there terminology and buzzwords like centering yourself or mindfulness or a therapeutic approach, because at the end of the day, number one of the reasons that I did it is because oftentimes there's a hyper level of spiritualization, but a low level of realization. What do I mean when I say that? We over spiritualize everything. Everything's a demon. Everything's a this. Everything's a that. When it's like, no, you probably just need to sit down, breathe, go color, get yourself together, put some music on, and come on back to the space. And so even for adults, if you struggle with preparing for a meeting, if you have the capability of taking this book in a meeting and you can doodle while you're listening to the president of your company, and that's what's going to keep your attention. Because I know for me, when I was a student, if a pencil fell in the hallway, that's where my attention went for 10 minutes. So if I could have something at my desk, then I could still keep going. And here's the thing, even when you deal with disciplining students, I was a special education teacher for 10 plus years. Some of the things is not behavior. It's just because they're bored and their learning style is different. And even in church spaces, adult spaces, there are a lot of pastors who deal with ADHD. There are a lot of praise and worship leaders that deal with ADHD.
Creatives.
If you're a creative, if it's like, hey, I'm a worship leader, I'm a fine arts director, I'm a podcast hoster, and before I go deal with these people, I need to go ahead and color. I can pray and I can color. So it's for everybody. It's really for everybody.
And that to that point of doodling, and even in a meeting, I spent 25 years in corporate America. 20 of that was in training and development. Early on, I'm talking about back in the 2008, 2009, they were talking about this. They were saying, if you're doing training classes, have pens, markers in the middle of the class. That's where, now people have these stress balls and so they were like, have things. And the studies show that people, if they're doing something physically, they are listening and still retaining and may even retain better if they are occupied in more than one way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It saves you a lot of trouble of having to yell at a classroom or try to get your leaders to focus. It's like, well, you might want them to color. So that's where this came from. And I was like, hey, I love it. Let's give the people something.
What do you say to the person that says, well, this is beneath me? Like, is this reverting back to childhood? What do you say to the adult? Now, the high schoolers, and maybe some of the high schoolers might feel that way too. Like, I was doing this in third grade. So high schoolers and adults, how do you get over that, maybe that stigma or barrier that they might feel?
So I'll say like this: my first set of my books that I published from this sold out because they were in my office and my students bought one, and they're 12th graders. So I say that to say this: the reason that I do not think that this type of strategy is beneath a person, be it a high-end CEO or a president or something, or hey, I got too much on my plate to go sit down and color, is because I think that revisiting something like this will heal some of that childhood trauma. I think that it allows you to have a moment to revisit, hey, I'm a kid. I didn't even have a moment to color, or I grew up too fast, or I had to raise siblings, so I don't even know what it was to color. So I think what it allows you to do is it goes back to a nostalgic moment where it's like, hey, you might want to go back to your childhood for a moment. Go ahead and put a little music on because, hey, maybe you didn't get to watch cartoons and eat cereal because you had to start working at 12. So it forces, I want to say, graciously, but it's also graciously forcing you to say, no, go have that moment. What does it feel like to just sit and color? What does it feel like to sit and do something colorful, bring it to your attention, pull yourself in, have a coloring night with your sister girls or your bros? Because what is it to say, hey, I'm sitting down coloring with my friends because I didn't get to do this. So I say to that person, give it a try. Give it an opportunity, because at the end of the day, sometimes coloring will heal some of that calamity that's been in your life.
Oh, well said. Well said. If you're just coming on in, hey there, you're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, and we are in our author spotlight. Stay sharp. It is available on Amazon. However, you heard our guest here say it'd be better to get it directly from him. That'll support the author as well. Yes, a Metropolitan Archbishop, healing childhood trauma. That is good, sir. Roberto is saying, say that again. Hey, Deborah, thank you so much for popping on in. I don't want to leave out the other, your other published work as well. And so you have The Pastor's Sabbath and then also Dear Young King. Tell us a little bit about each of those.
So The Pastor's Sabbath was the very first book I published. It was my dissertation turned into a book. It's a little deep. It's a little deep.
Okay.
It's a little deep. But that is designed for senior leaders, and it's also designed for secondary leaders or anybody, maybe a lay member who just wants to understand some of the data and the statistics and the research that is out there centered around evidence that there are leaders who succumb to burnout and have succumbed to suicide. When I did my dissertation defense, matter of fact, my focus was denominations across the board. So I didn't focus on just Baptist, Pentecostal, non-denominational, Catholic. I did a universal study across the board. And what I found in my research, was the fact that there were the leaders who had killed themselves or had subjected themselves to suicide. Their day job was they were mental health professionals. That's what they did. Their day job was helping people navigate through mental health, but they didn't have an outlet themselves. And so being able to navigate and name the fact that this is a real thing, and that, because the scripture base that I use is even when Moses and his father-in-law, they were talking, and he says in the scripture, this thing that you're doing is too much. You're going to wear yourself and these people out. So that book really promotes the understanding that pastors do not have to have every answer. Because we live in a dispensation of time, especially we know back in the day, especially the African-American church, the pastor was the therapist. The pastor showed up to court to represent Sister Susan's son who got locked up 5 times. The pastor will put his house up on sale. And it's like, it changes the narrative that we must address the fact that the goal for the pastor, the shepherd of the soul, is not to be the solution for everybody. And my goal is to help you understand, go get you some friends. When you're on a sabbatical, be on a real sabbatical. Like when you're on a break, be on a break. But a lot of pastors, even when I did my research, I interviewed PKs. And I interviewed PKs who talked about how they felt like they were abandoned because their pastoral parent had to miss a soccer game because of a revival, or they had to miss a recital because of a church meeting. And it pushes the conversation to say, hey, do you really have to have all those revivals this year? Or, hey, can you miss that Friday night service to go to your daughter's baseball game? And so what the goal of that book is to really create conversation with proven data and research that if you do not take yourself a necessary sabbatical, a real one, because even Jesus took one, if you don't take moments away, you're going to burn out. And then Dear Young King, that one is an affirmation book. That was dedicated in honor of my godson, James Moorhead, that was murdered in Richmond. It's now been about 6 years now, 6 or 7 years ago. And
Wow.
so a lot of people remember when he was murdered. It was that
Mm.
that shattered my life in a whole different way, because that just wasn't a mentee. That was somebody who considered me his father, all of the things. And so the goal of that one is, once again, any age bracket, it allows an African-American male to be able to look in, or a minority male. It doesn't have to be, but that's just the
Right.
population that I serve the most, to affirm themselves. It talks about, dear young king, look at the day you were born. Dear young king, your hair is beautiful. Dear young king, I'm proud of you. It's your senior night. So it walks a young man through life from birth all the way up until marriage. And so it's just affirmations for them to remember that we're royal kings, and it teaches them how to adjust their crown.
Amazing resources, all of which are available on Amazon, and they can go to you as well to
Yes,
capture.
they can. Yes, they
Okay.
can. Yeah.
Great. I do want to capture this comment. Thank you, Gay. Yes. So it doesn't necessarily mean that there is childhood trauma if you are coloring. It could be that it's fun.
And
It's just
shout out, that is actually my aunt.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Auntie.
Yes, that is my auntie. I love her. I will tell y'all, I can tell y'all right now, if I knew my aunt was on here watching anyway, she was going to come at a different angle when she heard because my aunt is the type that's like, hey, everything is not, and she's true. Everything is not traumatic. Everything is not doom and gloom. Sometimes it's just a matter of sit down and enjoy your childhood and have fun. That's what you have to do. You got to do it.
You got to do it. I'm telling you, our time has flown on by. So stay sharp. So we're excited, that you got that out there here, and it's available. So looking ahead, what's on the horizon for you? What's coming?
What is coming? Because I am learning the power of less is more. One of my main focuses right now is the Bridge household. And probably the Bridge household and establishing things with Stay Sharp. Those are probably the biggest focuses, because I want to really do some amazing things, especially in this first quarter of 2026 with the Bridge household and beyond. The goal is to open this independent living facility and before the year is ending, if that's possible, and establishing partnerships and really impacting youth and young adults in the child welfare system, because I want to see that these young people and these young adults are able to get the resources so that they can push forward. And so there are things that are coming up with the Bridge household, all things Bridge household specific. And then, of course, I'm trying to put together a Stay Sharp coloring tour. So any schools, any nonprofits, any churches that are like, hey, we want to create a Stay Sharp coloring experience, whether it's for your males, your youth, your ladies, because there is a ladies edition coming.
Okay. Hot off the press.
There's a Stay Sharp ladies edition coming. And probably the biggest thing is in July 9th through the 11th is Prophetic Resuscitation 2026. Right in Richmond, Virginia, my conference. So those are probably the top 3 priorities: the book, the nonprofit, and the conference. That's
all right. Listen, your hands are full. Your hands are full. So I'm telling again, our time just flew on by. But the last question we always like to ask our guests, because the goal of this show is to motivate, excite, and influence. We want to know what continues to motivate Dr. Travis.
What continues to motivate me? Seeing my students do what they never thought they could. That is, whether it's mentees, the students that I teach in 12th grade, leaders that I mentor or advise, being able to see that light bulb go in somebody's head off and be like, yo, I really got this done. Like I can't wait to see this class that I teach now and get ready to cross the stage on June 5th, because it's like, hey, they're the realization that you can do it. So seeing other people realize their potential, that's what motivates me. I love to see people win.
All right. That's a good way to end. I love to see people win. Well, thank you so much for stopping by the show. We certainly wish you much more continued success. And thanks for being not just a guest now, but also a constant listener and viewer of the show as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. I am telling you what, this time flew on by. Thank you so much for all of those that are here in the virtual studio. And if you're live commenting, and if you're listening later, listen, we gotta shout out those that are faithful on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Amazon Music, where this is also heard and broadcast. And so this segment is being brought to you by, we are wrapping up right now. This segment is being brought to you by my upcoming webinar. And you'll see, if you're on Sharvette.com, just look to the right. You'll see this flyer, or look down below. And if you're on Mitchell-Productions.com, you will see it there as well. And this is a complimentary opportunity. Who is this for? We are really gearing this towards women who are therapists in the mental health profession. We've talked a little bit about that today. So this was just a really great segment to kind of kick us off. And it's a webinar for marketing that supports your practice. And it's going to be talking about a visibility framework that you can use. And so who is this perfect for? Therapists, counselors, psychiatrists, psychologists, clinical social workers who want more customers, or they want to grow their practice, or they are considering expanding outside of therapy sessions to include more speaking and books and other areas that they can have impact. This is complimentary to you. We have 2 dates. So wherever you are watching, look down below in the comments. You'll see links there. You can join us next Tuesday, January 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's one option. Or you can join us on Saturday, January 31st at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's the same exact webinar. We're just offering it 2 times to be able to support people's schedules. And it's going to be on Zoom. So if you look down below in the show notes or the comments where you are watching, you have that way to register. So that is what's going on over in our world. We're wrapping up. Thank you so much, Metropolitan Archbishop, for being here in the studio and in the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're just checking the chat here. Okay, we love it. We see you all there. All right, it's a wrap. And go back to Sharvette.com if you're like, hey, I missed a portion of this. I want to share this. The best way to do it is to go to Sharvette.com. We have a full blog post for Dr. Travis, links to connect with him, and ways to listen and watch the show. And we're going to see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.